Hi everybody, welcome to the presentation. My name is Laura Brown and we're going to be talking about HTE's hothouse or far infrared dome. Well, what is far infrared? Far infrared is part of the electromagnetic spectrum. It's invisible rays or waves of energy that have the ability to penetrate all layers of the human physical body. They penetrate to the innermost regions of the tissues, muscles, and bones. The far infrared hothouse from HTE and the Sun Ancon Chi machine go together like bread and butter. Just ask anybody, including myself, who owns them, and we will tell you that they are as inseparable as white on rice. And we're going to be discussing that more a little bit later. But for right now, we're going to talk more about just far infrared. HTE's far infrared hothouse dome creates a wonderful and comforting feeling of warmth and healing. Far infrared penetrates the skin and the insulating layer of fat. It does so quicker and faster than any other heat source on the market. It penetrates, the far infrared hothouse dome from HTE is going to penetrate about 1.5 inches into the body and begin to work on helping the body to heal from the inside out. Other heat sources available work from the outside in, but when you remove that heat source, there's no lasting benefit. I mentioned that HTE's hothouse dome creates a wonderful and comforting feeling of warmth, and I'm going to tell you a little testimony that goes with that. It's actually a pretty huge testimony. A few months ago, I had a lady call me and tell me what her experience was with the far infrared dome. About 20 years ago, she had a major accident, and I don't know all the details, but it sounded like she fell, and she fell into a very heavy cast iron crate or shelf. She ended up with damage to her ribs, muscle, nerve damage, and they're not even sure to this day what's causing her so much pain, but the bottom line is that for the last 20 years since this fall, she's been in excruciating pain, to the point that she can't even get out of her recliner without going into muscle spasms, and she said that car rides, she dreads them because they're excruciatingly painful for her. In the last 20 years, she's done doctoring. She's had just about every x-ray done that you can imagine. She's done physical therapy, chiropractic. She's seen acupuncturists. She's done massage. She knows a lot about health and nutrition as far as supplements, so she's done a lot of that, and she has not gotten any lasting relief. Well, she told me at the time that she called me that about a year and a half previous to that, she'd tried my Soaky bed, and she said that in the 15 to 20 minutes that she was on my Soaky bed. Now, for those of you who don't know what a Soaky bed, it's sold by HTE, and it's a medical grade bed that comes with 3 far infrared domes and a Chi machine. Well, she had a very short experience under there, 15 to 20 minutes, and she said that it was the best day she had in over 20 years. She said that the way it made her feel physically and even emotionally was like nothing she'd ever felt before. And she told me that it took her a year and a half to contact me about it because she spent that year and a half trying to find something else that would be similar, that would help her to feel the way she felt in that 15 minutes, and she could not find anything. I'm going to switch gears here, and we're going to be talking about the sun a little bit. We absorb the sun's rays through our skin and eyes. The sun helps to stimulate our metabolism. Without the sun, we lessen our ability to absorb certain nutrients. We have suppressed immune function. We fight fatigue. We end up with depression, especially for those that live in Minnesota like I do, where seasonal affective disorder is as common as the Minnesota cold weather. Without the sun, we can end up with sleep disorders or insomnia too. But unfortunately, with the sun comes ultraviolet light. Ultraviolet light can be very damaging to the skin, creating sunburn and even cancerous changes to the skin. Well, fortunately, far infrared does no damage to the skin. You can get all of the benefits of the sun without harmful consequences. Our bodies actually emit far infrared at a wavelength of 8 to 10 micron. They find that this is the best wavelength to absorb it as well. And that's exactly the rate that HTE's far infrared hothouse dome will emit far infrared. I'm going to be showing you a list, and I want you to grab a pen and paper, because when I show you this list, there are going to be names that come to your mind, and maybe even it's yourself. But you're going to have faces come to your mind of people that you know that are struggling with the symptom or the illness that I show you. Here's the list. Everything from arthritis to asthma, bronchitis, carpal tunnel, chest colds, chronic diseases, blood pressure, Earaches, ulcers, gout, insomnia, knee injuries, diabetes, fungal infections, bladder infections, UTIs, headaches. The list goes on. Viruses, shingles, eczema, stomach aches, skin aging, shoulder pain. If somebody told you that HTE's far infrared dome or hothouse could possibly help with any of the above, would you listen? We're going to be looking at some of the things that far infrared does for the body. Okay, what else does far infrared do for the body? It helps our bodies in detoxification, it increases circulation, it shortens recovery time, it improves metabolism, increases calorie burning, improves the immune system function, helps to aid in digestion, it helps to lower blood pressure, and helps to clear acne. We're going to be talking about some of these things more in depth, but the one that I want to talk about real briefly here is acne. There are salons in LA using HTE's far infrared dome, charging anywhere from around $200 on up for one facial with them. We know that far infrared is better for healing up acne and eliminating acne than tanning beds, because most of all, you don't have the damage to your skin with far infrared that you do with a tanning bed. Far infrared is able to get into those pores and open up those pores that have been malfunctioning for years. Far infrared forces out clogging cosmetics and other toxins, and it helps to loosen dry outer skin. Far infrared helps to heal not only acne, but also the scarring that goes with it or that has been done from other treatments. Now, this is really not an extensive list. We're going to be moving on and talking about some of these more in depth, and we'll also be touching on some other things briefly that far infrared can do for the body. The first thing we're going to focus on is detoxification. This is a biggie, and all of the other benefits of far infrared I really feel hinge on far infrared's ability to help our bodies detoxify. We know from our basic science classes that when we heat matter up, molecules and atoms are going to begin to move or vibrate. When the body is subjected to far infrared, it causes water molecules to vibrate. And what happens is that in those water molecules, as they're bunched together, toxins and gases can get trapped in there. Anything from carbon dioxide to sulfur dioxide to heavy metals, other poisons and carcinogens get trapped in there. But when those water molecules are heated up and vibrate, as they're vibrating, those trapped gases and toxins can be eliminated. Anything from lead, arsenic, mercury, aluminum, cholesterol, ammonium, copper, alcohol, nicotine, and even prescription drug residue. They have found that far infrared can be 7 times more effective than conventional heat or steam saunas. Detoxification from far infrared is the deepest level of detoxification that you can do because it helps to detoxify hidden toxins in the blood and other tissues, and it helps to dissolve them. They say that far infrared is an even deeper form of detoxification than you can do from some of the more popular water and juice detox programs available. There was a study done by a team of American researchers who found that sweat from far infrared users was very different from sweat by people using conventional saunas or exercising. When they examined the non-water portion of the sweat from people that were using far infrared, what they found in the sweat was things like cholesterol, fat-soluble toxins, toxic heavy metals, sulfuric acid, sodium, ammonium, and uric acid. We also know that detoxification with far infrared can help with fat loss, chronic fatigue, water retention, and skin disorders. Let's talk about skin disorders for just a little bit here. Far infrared has an incredible impact on the liver and kidneys because it's cleaning them. So instead of forcing our body's skin to process the toxins through the dermis, your liver and kidneys are stimulated to do that, to do what God created them to do in the first place. Far infrared has a wonderful impact on damaged and diseased tissues. It emits photons, and those photons release enzymes. And that enzyme activity stimulates macrophage activity at the cellular level. And when that happens, your body can increase the elimination of damaged and diseased tissue. Far infrared helps to improve cellular vitality. Basically, it promotes cellular regeneration, and when you do that, you can get rid of things like scarring, stretch marks, fine lines, and wrinkles. Let's talk about sunburn really briefly. According to Clayton's Electrotherapy in the 9th edition, they say that far infrared is the only antidote to excessive ultraviolet radiation. Far infrared enhances the delivery of oxygen and nutrients in the blood to cells and soft tissue areas, and that's why it can help with cellular regeneration and in reducing physical recovery. When you're using far infrared, you can shorten your recovery time after physical exertion and even heal exertion-related injuries. Bottom line is that cellular regeneration gets you back on your feet more quickly. Dr. Suzao Kai, and I'm sorry, I probably totally butchered that name, so please forgive me for that, but she is a medical doctor and she's the author of the scientific basis and therapeutic benefits of far infrared therapy. From her observations and experiences in using far infrared with her patients, and in similar results from colleagues that she's networked with who've been using far infrared with their patients, she found that far infrared promotes regeneration and fast healing in all of these conditions, whether it's stress-induced chronic diarrhea, abdominal distension, ulcerated large intestines, gastritis, facial numbness, shoulder, back, and knee pain, rheumatism, diabetes, weight loss, breast and abdominal tumors. Do I have your attention yet? She found it to be effective in lowering blood pressure, helping with asthma, anemia, burns and scalds, body odor, early onset baldness, fractures of cervical vertebrae, and radiation exposure. I really hope that I have your attention now. Well, we're going to be moving on and talking about circulation. How many symptoms and conditions can you think of that are created or impacted by a lack of circulation? Anything from arthritis, headaches and migraines, neuropathy, stroke, diabetes complications, arteriosclerosis, blood clots, cholesterol, organ failure, numbness. And this is not an extensive list. I'm sure we could all come up with some more. But let's look at how important circulation is. 3 Americans won the Nobel Prize in Medicine for showing that far infrared creates an enzyme reaction in the body called nitric oxide. The body creates nitric oxide, and this is so important because it acts as a signal telling our body's blood vessels and capillaries to dilate. When we expand our blood vessels and capillaries, when we create or expand their diameter, we are increasing circulation, we are increasing oxygenation and generation of blood, and this detoxified blood improves functioning of major organs that depend on the energy from that blood for their functioning. The Chi machine and the hothouse really do go together. On their own, they are excellent, but together, they are 300 times more effective. We have the far infrared hothouse dome, which triggers a nitric oxide reaction in the body. And when that happens, we just learned that our body's capillaries and veins are going to expand, thus increasing circulation. And the Chi machine simultaneously is ensuring that there's this increase of blood circulation is healthy oxygenated blood. Well, how important is nitric oxide? According to Dr. Valentino Fuster, president of the American Heart Association, he said that the discovery of nitric oxide is one of the most important discoveries in the history of cardiovascular medicine because it promotes expansion of the capillaries and allows the blood to get into the area to increase circulation and reduce the risk of strokes and heart attacks. Well, now you have a way to decrease your risk of stroke or heart attack without having to pop a prescription drug. We're going to switch gears here now and talk about weight loss. But before we talk about weight loss, we're going to discuss diet just a minute here. For those of you who have listened to my other presentations, you know exactly where I stand on nutrition and proper eating. However, they are finding that diet change alone may not be enough to affect permanent weight loss or body shape change. Diet is just one element that affects our body's overall chemistry and metabolic function. If you see someone who's overweight, cut them some slack, okay? They may not be overeating or eating the wrong things at all. If they have a thyroid or a hormone imbalance, they will not lose a pound. Just ask any herbalist or doctor how important proper hormone balance and thyroid function is to maintaining a proper body weight. There is a real easy test that you can do at home to give you an idea of whether you may or may not have a thyroid problem. Get a good old-fashioned thermometer, set it on your nightstand, and when you wake up in the morning, before you even swing your feet out of bed, take your body's temperature. Do this anywhere from 3 to 7 days in a row and average those temperatures. If your average temperature is below 98.2, that's a pretty good indication that you may have something going on with your thyroid. Now, this is not a diagnosis. This is not a way to diagnose yourself. You should still go see your doctor. But this can give you an indicator of whether you may have something else going on in your body. So, okay, moving on. Let's talk about weight loss. How does far infrared help with weight loss? Well, we've talked about how far infrared detoxifies your body at a very deep level. When you are detoxifying waste and toxins from your cells more efficiently, you will have fewer cravings for sugars and fats that all of our unhealthy cells crave. And when you crave that less, you can actually increase your body's ability at the cellular level to be able to process higher quality nutrients. Now, there are a number of reasons that we crave sugar and fat. It could be that we've trained ourselves for years to expect those things. Our cells can't effectively absorb nutrition when they've been abused for a number of years, and it could be something like yeast, fungus, and parasites as well. Well, HTE's far infrared hothouse helps to improve the vitality of our cells by cleansing them. When we clean our cells and detoxify our cells, we can absorb proper nutrition. HT's hothouse will also help to kill yeast, fungus, and parasites that want us to keep feeding them. When your body converts far infrared rays to heat, it stimulates the cells in your body to function more rapidly and efficiently. Improved cellular function in your body will enhance cardiovascular and the lymphatic systems. This will in turn trigger an increased blood flow to all parts of your body, and the end result means that you burn huge amounts of calories. Well, when we're talking about huge amounts, what do I mean by huge amount? By enhancing the metabolism of your cells, you are going to get some serious calorie burning. A 180-pound person that would walk for 1 hour is going to burn about 270 calories. Now, a 180-pound person that runs for, say, 5 miles per hour is going to burn about 654 calories. But I don't know of any 180-pound person that can run at 5 miles per hour for 1 hour consistently. And if they can, good for them. Most of us can't. But with just 1 hour under the far infrared hothouse dome from HTE, you will burn over 900 calories. There are a lot of things that can interfere with weight loss, even if someone is dieting right and exercising. A lot of times it can be a hormonal imbalance that we don't even know about. When I started researching far infrared a few weeks ago for this presentation, I got very excited. I already knew there were a lot of amazing benefits to far infrared, but what I found really excited me. Far infrared actually triggers chemical and biological responses in the body to affect permanent weight loss that diet and exercise alone can't do. It helps to regulate hormones. Where are those hormonal imbalances coming from? What causes them? How do we get them? First of all, we're going to talk about food. It is so important that you start eating organically, that you eat non-GMO foods, and that you try to never eat anything that's been injected with antibiotics or hormones of any kind. However, the talk about food and proper nutrition is a presentation all on its own, so I don't want to focus on that anymore. We're going to be talking about hidden hormones. Okay, far infrared helps to regulate hormones. In some of the research I did, I learned a lot about phthalates. Phthalates are man-made synthetic chemicals that are found in makeup, in lotions, including tanning lotions, perfumes, plastics, and a lot of different personal care items. What they do is they can mimic hormones, and they can mess up hormonal balance or hormonal activity in our bodies. Phthalates are used by cosmetic manufacturers because this is the ingredient in things like hair gels and nail polishes that make them stick or give them that sticky structure. Perfumes and hair products, particularly hairspray and mousse, have been found to be the worst offenders. the reason that they're so dangerous is because they're absorbed into the body through the skin. One health researcher that I've had the privilege of listening to says that, or found in her research, that women who wear makeup absorb about 5 pounds of chemicals a year just from wearing makeup every day. 5 pounds of chemicals will be absorbed into the body. Let's talk about phthalates some more. A study was done that showed that the presence of phthalates can lead to obesity because it prompts the belly to store fat, and they found that phthalates are highly linked to diabetes. What happens is they make the body resistant to insulin. Even when there's a minimal level of phthalates in the body, they found that people are 2 times more likely to develop diabetes. In laboratory rats or animals, they found that phthalates damage the liver, kidneys, lungs, and reproductive systems. Dr. Paula Bally-Hamilton, who's the author of Stop the 21st Century Killing You, she's a researcher on human metabolism, and what she said is that she feels that the abundance of chemical calories in our lives is the reason why so many people are getting fatter despite dieting and exercising more. Is this you? Do you feel like you're doing everything right but you can't lose weight? You know, I'm pretty sure that was the case with me. Do you feel like you've done everything, you've done it all consistently and still don't see the changes? Please don't beat yourself up. This information was life-changing for me. It was the aha, so that's what was going on moment that I had. Sadly, it is so difficult to avoid phthalates. A spokesperson for the Campaign for Safe Cosmetics said that phthalates are found in about 70% of fragrance-containing personal care products. That's everything from perfume and cologne to fragrance-containing shampoos and deodorants. They are not listed on labels because fragrance is considered a trade secret, so companies don't have to disclose what's in it. Monica Lind, who's the Associate Professor for Environmental Medicine at Uppsala University in Sweden, says that these pollutants, she doesn't even call them products, she calls them pollutants. Those pollutants containing phthalates are making people obese, and now we find they could get diabetes. Many are used in body products like face creams, fake tan, makeup, and perfumes. Not only does the packaging contain them, but they are absorbed into the body and bloodstream through the skin. In perfume, we inhale the phthalates that are used to delay the scent and increase the lifetime of perfume. What does this look like in the body? In men, phthalates have an anti-testosterone capacity linked to weight gain, and in women, phthalates disrupt and interfere with hormone balance. What happens is they can mimic what occurs during menopause or puberty. Johanna Congleton, senior scientist for the Environmental Working Group, says that the implications of this study enforce the notion that environmental chemicals can act as obesogens and alter biological functions involved in fat metabolism, which can influence body weight. I hope you just had an aha moment. Now I can share with you something really exciting. Far infrared from HTE's hothouse dome does make a difference when it comes to hormones. We've already talked about the extreme detoxification that happens with HTE's far infrared dome. Alright, the detoxification that happens with far infrared is second to none. With this level of detoxification, the body is able to release those trapped chemicals, those toxins at the cellular level that are interfering with biological processes like metabolism. Whatever is interfering with proper hormone levels in your body, be it phthalates, phytoestrogens, or a thyroid endocrine disorder, the far infrared hothouse dome from HTE will increase your circulation of oxygen-rich blood to get more of the right hormones to the thyroid and the endocrine gland. If you would like to find out more about where you can get personal care products, be it makeup or shampoo or any of those sorts of things, if you want to know where you can get more of those types of products that are safe for your body, you can go to this link that I've included here, or you can write down this website, or on my website there is a link on the Make Money page of my website where you can go and actually be able to order safe products for your body. Well, we're going to move on now, and we're going to talk about the immune system. All right, how does HTE's far infrared or hothouse dome enhance the immune system? First of all, I have a question for you. Are fevers bad? Well, it was Hippocrates who first said, "Give me a fever and I can cure any illness." Far infrared creates a low fever state in the body. Well, what does a low fever state in the body of 1 to 3 degrees do for the body? A low fever state that is produced by far infrared modulates your body's immune system by increasing production of cytokines. Well, what are cytokines? They're a special protein messenger that triggers action by other immune cells in your body that are important to disease control. The far infrared also helps to stimulate the production of white blood cells and killer T cells. It helps to eliminate foreign pathogens such as bacteria, virus, fungi, and other parasites. And it helps to coordinate the immune system's response against mutated cells. Well, what diseases can you think of right now that involve mutated cells? Take a look at what the medical uses are for far infrared. NASA was able to show that far infrared kept astronauts' hearts in optimal condition. Far infrared is being used to stimulate blood flow and increase white blood cell function. It's being used to increase metabolic rate. It helps to stimulate the hypothalamus, which controls the production of neurochemicals that are involved in biological processes. Far infrared is being used to lower blood pressure. In fact, German researchers found that it could lower blood pressure in as little as an hour. Far infrared is used to warm newborn infants, and they have found that they can actually eliminate toxins that are found in silicone breast implants with the use of far infrared. We're going to talk about carpal tunnel for a second here. Standard medical procedure for carpal tunnel right now is surgery, and unfortunately it has a dismal success rate of only 10%. Dr. Wayne Good, who is a physician at General Motors Flint Assembly, has treated close to 600 patients with far infrared, and he has achieved a positive result in over 70% of his patients. Far infrared has been shown to reduce symptoms of Raynaud's, lupus, and chronic fatigue, and it's also been used for rheumatoid arthritis. In a clinical study done in Japan, they found that far infrared was a positive or a successful solution for 7 out of 7 cases of rheumatoid arthritis. Far infrared has been very effective on pneumonia. A lymphologist in Utah used it for 15 minutes on a case of pneumonia coming from the far infrared dome, and he used lymphology therapy. Well, what is that? That's the Chi machine. After 15 minutes, he said that a pneumonia was cleared. In Japan and China, they use far infrared, and they have found that it is proven to be outstanding for asthma, bronchitis, colds, flu, sinus and congestion. It clears inflammation, swelling, and mucus-clogged passages. If you want to learn more about that, you can learn more about that in Dr. Kayo's book, The Scientific Basis and Therapeutic Benefits of Far Infrared. I think I listed that reference earlier. Some more medical uses of far infrared. Far infrared is being used in cancer treatments. It's called hyperthermia, and there are studies from the National Cancer Institute and Duke University Medical Center. There's an incredible article. Actually, all of these things that I'm talking about now, I have articles on these at my website, which I've listed at the bottom. You're probably there right now if you're watching this presentation. If you go to the articles page, you'll be able to find these articles on my website. So it's being used in cancer treatment. It's being used in high-risk dental surgery. It's being used in wound care. Let's talk about some of the features of far infrared. I mentioned at the beginning of this presentation that our bodies emit far infrared at a wavelength of 8 to 10 microns. That is the best wavelength for our bodies to absorb far infrared, and HTE's far infrared dome emits it at 8 to 10 micron wavelength. What about far infrared saunas? Yeah, I know that they're good, but first of all, they're not portable. The far infrared hothouse dome you can take with you wherever you go. Not only that, the hothouse dome is closer to your body with an acute angle silicon surface. Well, what does that mean? The silicon in the far infrared dome, the silicon surface is broken into billions of tiny crystals. This is going to increase the amount of surface area for the far infrared rays to bounce off of. Basically what it means is that it increases your absorption of those far infrared rays tenfold. And not only that, they are cheaper than far infrared saunas. The HTE far infrared dome is electronically controlled and contains safety features to protect you. The surface temperature is controlled by a built-in regulator. It is super easy to operate. It will never touch your skin. It's small and portable. I mentioned earlier that you can carry it with you wherever you go. In a nutshell, you are absorbing more rays from the far infrared dome because it has a wider 160-degree heating surface. I have a testimony for you that I've saved for last because it's very powerful. This is a family member of mine. My mom, shortly after Thanksgiving, ended up having severe pain in her foot. It was the type of pain that if you got an inch away from her foot, she would start to cry. The pain was so severe that you couldn't touch it, and she was completely immobile for almost 7 weeks. She did a lot of doctoring, and they were not able to come up with what the problem was. She was misdiagnosed with gout. She was told she had a bone infection. No matter what medication she was on some pretty heavy pain medications. Nothing touched the pain. My husband and I brought our far infrared dome to her house and left it with her. This was on a Sunday. She started using it on a Monday, and this mom of mine who went from not being able to walk, she had to use a kneeling walker just to get to the bathroom. So she had been completely immobile for 7 weeks. She started using the far infrared dome over her foot on Monday, and by Thursday, she was able to walk without her walker. 4 days. In 4 days, she was able to get to the bathroom without using her walker, and by Saturday, she wanted to attend an event with my dad where she would be leaving the house. 7 weeks of immobility, 7 weeks of being misdiagnosed, 7 weeks of excruciating pain, and just 4 days of use with the far infrared dome, and she was able to walk again. I know that far infrared is an incredible healing tool. My husband and I have used it ourselves. It's helped us with colds when we've gotten colds. It's helped us to heal faster. It's helped in weight loss. I've lost a number of inches just by using the far infrared dome. So I'm going to be putting my contact information up. If you have more questions, please feel free to call me. The best way to get a hold of me is via phone, or you can shoot me an email. And if you're wondering about price, make sure that you watch the cost presentation video that I have on my website as well to find out how much it is. Otherwise, just give me a call and we can talk about it. Or if one of my team members referred you to this presentation, please get back in contact with them. I mentioned in the Chi Machine presentation, and I'm going to mention it again, my team and I are very dedicated to attending company trainings, and as a result of that, a lot of times we can offer you a price on the equipment that is cheaper than what the company's sale price is. So make sure you get back in contact with us. I know that you probably learned a lot in this presentation today. Thanks for your attention, and I hope that you find it valuable.